So shall I, Okay, but to be honest, I don't really know how to put this into words. I mean, I've no idea what the correct medical terminology is for this condition. I mean, that's why I'm here. If you just want me to describe it. Okay. Well, I have these episodes, I suppose you could call them. It's not all the time. Once every 2 weeks, maybe? 3 weeks? But when I'm in the grip of this thing, this strange feeling comes over me, and I start to feel like the people around me in the office or in the street, I start to feel as if no one else is real. Like, I'm the only real person in the world, and everyone else is
Go on.
like everyone else is a kind of imposter, you know? It's like I'm standing in a room with a bunch of cardboard cutouts, and it can be quite a lonely feeling, you know, because you can't interact with something that isn't real, you know? Like, talking to another person feels like talking to a TV set, and all of a sudden you can't reach out and touch the real world anymore because it's not really there. It's fake. All of it. Everyone. And I
And tell me, for how long have you been having these experiences?
well, funnily enough, I did actually as a kid, actually, I used to get it all the time. Same thing.
And what age was that?
6, 7. Then it stopped, and then it just started again about 2 years ago. And well, now I'm just feeling sorry for myself. You know, it's stupid, really.
No, not at all. I understand. That does sound extremely difficult for you. Would you like a tissue?
Thank you.
Listen, if it's okay with you, I might just see if my colleague is free and ask her to step in here for a minute. Is that okay?
No, not at all.
She's very good. And from the symptoms you're describing, I believe this situation may well fall under her specialism. Do you mind?
No, thank you.
Maybe I'll try her on the phone. She might be with a patient. No, it's ringing. Charlotte, David here. How are you? Oh, good. Could you pop in for a second? Oh, no. What happened? Really? Well, if you wouldn't mind coming by room 2 on your way out the door, there's a young man here who I'd like you to meet. No, not like that. Yes, bye. She'll just be a second. Can I quickly take your blood pressure, Mr. Cartwright?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. You're in safe hands here, okay?
Okay.
This clinic is world renowned for its reputation. Some of the best psychotherapists in the country work right here under this roof.
Really? Okay, that is good to know.
Yes. So, good news. Your blood pressure is a 1. Level 1 pressure, which is actually the best blood pressure you can possibly have. So that's something.
Okay. Well, I mean, I wasn't aware of that particular form of measurement But you sure?
Disturbing, am I?
No, come on in, Charlotte. This is Mr. Cartwright. Stephen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can I call you Stephen?
Yes.
Lovely to meet you, Stephen.
Hi.
Stephen has recently been experiencing a kind of fugue state where the world around him starts to feel completely artificial.
Is that so?
Yeah.
During these episodes, he feels completely detached from his surroundings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And it's been extremely upsetting for him. And I think it's fair to say, Stephen, these experiences have pushed him really to the absolute limit of his mental capacity. The whole thing has been extremely overwhelming for him.
Oh, how awful. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Stephen, I totally understand how you must be feeling. But I assure you, your condition is completely treatable, okay?
We'll get to the bottom of it, Stephen. Mark my words.
Thank you.
We'll run some tests,
Yes.
Thank you.
and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Thank you.
But help is coming.
Thank you.
Help is coming.
Well, first of all, thank you for agreeing to meet me at such short notice.
This was not short notice.
Excuse me?
Short notice. This was not short notice. Tuesday. That's when you texted.
Yeah.
Today's Thursday.
Yes.
2 days' notice is more than adequate notice for a social engagement.
Roger, this is not a social engagement.
Fine.
It's a meeting over dinner.
I would call that a social engagement.
Well, trust me, I wouldn't be here
Fine.
if I didn't need to be.
Fine.
But certain factors compel me, I'm afraid.
Just tell me why I'm here.
So, I need to ask you a question.
Right?
There's just something I need to move on with my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I just need to ask you a question.
Okay, then. Ask it. It just better not be the question that I think it is. Is it the question I think it is?
On our honeymoon,
For God's sake.
look, you told me
I can't believe we're doing this
on our honeymoon, you said that you were
I said I was an alien.
yes.
We've been through this 1,000
You were
times.
drunk.
Yes, I was drunk.
We had just become
I
husband
was
and wife.
extremely drunk.
And I thought, spousal privilege. You thought that finally
Finally.
it was safe to reveal to me
Reveal what?
your true self.
My true self.
Yes,
That I am actually
yes,
an extraterrestrial.
yes.
Karen,
It made sense of a lot
What the-
of things.
goddamn billionth time. I don't remember saying that to you.
We were in the cabin.
You might well have dreamt the whole thing for all we know.
You said you were relieved
Stop.
to finally have someone you could
Does that
tell.
even sound like me?
You said
I didn't say any of
you
this.
said you'd been biologically altered to appear human.
Or if I did say it, I was smashed. I was out my fucking tree, Karen.
And that you'd been placed on Earth.
To start World War III, like you told me.
And that you'd been given a list.
Yeah, of 10 people to kill. I know the story, Kay. What do you want me to say? You want to know more details about my secret mission? I don't fucking have them.
Don't swear.
I don't fucking know, Karen. Because I don't remember saying any of this crazy stuff. I woke up that morning You told me what I'd apparently said the night before, and do you know what? Part of me, Karen, has always suspected that you made it up. Because that is exactly the kind of thing you would do. Don't deny it.
I would not.
Why am I? Why is everyone responsible for every single crazy idea that flies through your head, Karen? Answer me that. No, actually, I have a better question. Is this why we separated?
Oh, Jesus Christ, Roger.
Is this why we're divorced? Come on, look me in the eye and tell me.
No.
You divorced me
No.
because I'm an alien.
No.
Because I came here to decimate the Earth
Roger.
and send you all back into a never-ending nuclear winter.
There are so many reasons I divorced you, Roger.
It's true. I think you genuinely made it up yourself. Or you dreamt it.
Really? Well, I don't dream.
You don't dream.
I have never had a dream, not once.
Are you that much of a control freak
No.
that you can't admit that you have dreams?
What do you want me to say?
You know, maybe you're the alien.
What?
Yeah, maybe you're the alien.
I would never be an alien.
Oh, yeah, really? Well, how can you be so sure?
Oh, fuck you, Roger.
Maybe the other aliens erased your memory so you wouldn't accidentally give yourself away. Did you think of that?
You are insane.
Maybe you're the one sent to Earth with a list of 10 names to kill, Karen. Huh?
Don't be
I
disgusting.
mean, you wouldn't even need to know about it. I mean, what if it was all subliminal programming? Buried away somewhere at the back of that alien brain of yours. But then, on our honeymoon, one too many rosés, something got dislodged. So that night, you go to bed, you have a dream about your mission. Except in the dream, it's all coming out of my mouth. But it was all from your brain, Karen. It was your dream, not mine.
Waiter!
And now that the thought has been dragged back out in the light, you can't let go of it, can you?
Waiter!
That's why you had to divorce me, isn't it? You had to try and excise the part of you that knows the truth, except it hasn't worked, because I'm not the alien, Karen. The alien programming's in your head, not mine. So you call me up, you make me come to a restaurant on the opposite side of the city, you bring me here because you need me to reassure you that it isn't real. But nothing I say makes any difference, does it, Karen? Because whatever I say, it doesn't change the alien programming buried away in your brain. Your mission to extinguish all life on this planet. Divorce me again if you like, Karen. Divorce me 1,000 times over. It won't change a thing because you are the alien, Karen. Not me. It's you. It's you.
Are you finished?
Show me the list.
What?
Show me the list.
I haven't got a list. You're the one with a list. You show me the list.
No, you show me a
How many
list.
people have you killed?
How many people have you killed? How close are we to the apocalypse, Karen? 2 names? 1 name?
You realise the more you try to deflect, the guiltier you look.
What do I have to be guilty about? I'm not a fucking alien here.
This is all a game to you, isn't it?
No, I'm deadly serious.
You're toying
No,
with me.
no.
The same way that you're toying with the future of all humankind.
Your alien mind control tricks aren't going to work on me, Karen.
Roger.
I've built a resilience.
I need to see the
I
list.
don't have a list.
Please.
No.
Show me the fucking list,
Is
Roger.
everything okay here?
Yeah. Yeah,
We're
sorry.
fine,
Sorry
thanks.
about that.
Is there an issue I can help with?
No,
No, thank you. If we could just get
yeah.
the dessert menu, please. I think we.
I think so.
Yeah?
I mean, just a look.
We'd just like to have a look.
Not a problem. It's just, I'm afraid we're actually closing this section of the restaurant early tonight.
So,
Right.
So,
Okay.
if you'd be happy to relocate to the bar area, I could bring you some dessert there.
No. Look, I should be leaving anyway.
I think just the bill, please.
Very good.
You know, I just thought with an 8 o'clock booking, we'd have time for a full meal and not be
Harried out of our seats.
I do apologise. It's just we have a short notice booking that sadly requires some additional security measures.
Meaning?
Security measures? National security measures, if you understand what I'm saying. So we have to clear out of this room, I'm afraid.
Really? So, who are you talking about exactly?
I'm sorry,
Some sort of ambassador?
It would have to be a big name.
Prime Minister?
Foreign Secretary?
Prime Minister and Foreign Secretary?
Well, you didn't hear it from me. I'll be back with your bill.
Oh,
hold on, actually.
Wait a second. I think I will.
Yeah.
Have dessert after all. What about you, Roger?
I'll have a profiterole.
Yes. A profiterole sounds lovely.
Very good.
The biggest summer sound. Your favourite radio station.
This May Bank Holiday weekend.
Crank it in the park.
Crank it in the park.
9 music stages.
Street Food Village.
Pilates with Jamie.
Skateboard half-pipe.
Solar powered fry your own waffle grill tops.
Dominatrix Cottage featuring special guest Frankenstein.
A fridge. 1 fridge.
Men's urinal with built-in paintball labyrinth.
Free pet wash service.
Gurn pits.
PlayStation 2 charging station. And disposal site.
Field of Despair.
Roaming Shakespeare plays with real swords that kill you if you ever turn your back on them.
Dimitri.
Yes, Dimitri is going to be there.
He has the
Come and
stuff.
see Dimitri if you want the stuff.
Skateboard
You said
half-pipe.
that already.
Bouncy castle shaped like the set of The Office.
Cinema tent.
Mysterious unmoving bank of fog.
Chill out chili hut.
Plus another 2 music stages.
Another 3 music stages, making a total of 14 music stages. No, wait, is it? No, it is. It's 4. It was 14. I was right.
Crank it in the
Crank it in the park.
Featuring
Scrabble twins.
Dusha.
Rubble Scumpanick.
Wang a shoe into the ugly face of God.
Picture of Dennis.
Scrotal marquee.
DJ Mr. Basketball Head.
KBM 567 _ LV chevron open bracket.
The Southampton Ukulele Symphony Massacre.
DJ Giant Ass Hole.
Alan Bennett and friend.
The Donk.
A guy with a big bag.
Not sure what his deal is, but it looked like he should be in a band.
So we let him backstage.
Let him backstage.
And now he's just sitting in the hospitality tent with the bag on his lap.
Not talking to anyone.
No expression on his face.
Aviator shades.
Black bag.
Ignoring everyone.
Something is moving inside the bag.
Call security.
Oh my God, what's in the bag? Featuring special guests, Chumbawamba. Also, good news. Extra tickets have been made available.
An extra 8 billion tickets have been made available.
8 billion extra tickets available.
All must come.
All must come. And crank it in the park.
Crank it in the park.
Ticket cost starts at free.
Plus your soul.
Just bring us your soul.
The feast begins this May Bank Holiday weekend.
Crank it in the
You're looking down right now. Place that I often go to Bold Street, the vibrant Bold Street. And apparently some instances of this phenomenon.
So, I'd been in an accident on the M4. I was on my way home, fell asleep at the wheel, woke up to find myself skidding across the hard shoulder. Then it hit the verge and flipped right over. It was like the car was being compacted, but with me still inside it. I got a cut on the top of my head that was running down into my eyes. I think it was from the broken glass. The policeman said I was the luckiest man on the planet, walking away from a crash like that. Obviously, thing was a write-off. Had to get a taxi home from the hospital afterwards. Finally, got back to my house around midnight, and I was desperate for some gear, but I had nothing in the house. I pretty much stopped smoking weed when I went into remission, but this was special, extenuating circumstances. There was no way I was going to get to sleep that night without smoking something. So I text my guy, my old guy, but he's out somewhere. He gives me another guy's number, a mate of his. I text that number. The guy texts back his address straight away, says, "Come on over, he'll sort me out." So I call another taxi. Guy lived out in one of the villages in this pebble-dashed bungalow. It looked like a granny house from the outside. Guy lets me in. He was a bit older than I was expecting. It's like maybe 40. I was only 22 at the time. Guy tells me to go through to the lounge while he gets the stuff. So I go through, and the lounge is pitch black, right? Apart from the light from the TV set. And on the screen is Tellytubbies. Man's watching Tellytubbies. Guy comes back in, straight away, starts skinning up, and I'm like, well, fine. It's not like I've got anywhere to be. So anyway, we're smoking, watching Tellytubbies. The program eventually finishes, and straight away, another episode of Tellytubbies starts, and I realise he's got the TV set to a digital channel that is basically just Tellytubbies, round the clock, 24/7. Eventually, guy says to me, "You ever watch Tellytubbies?" And I say, "Well, yeah. I mean, not for a while, but I'm watching some right now, if that counts." The guy says, "You know about the 5th Tellytubby?" And I say, "No." And then he starts telling me this story about how one night, a few months back, he was flicking through the channels, right, and he comes across this episode of Tellytubbies. Looks like a normal episode. Red Tellytubby, purple Tellytubby, green Tellytubby, yellow Tellytubby, all standing on one of those little grassy hillocks. You know what I mean? Like the whole place, Tellytubby Land. I mean, it's all made up of these little artificial hills, right? Arranged around that metal disc UFO type thing where all the Teletubbies live. So, guy says he's watching TV one night, he turns the channel on to Teletubbies, and all the Teletubbies are there, standing on one of these little hills, playing catch with a big ball. Normal episode, right? So the guy thinks. Then, the guy notices there's actually something else in the picture. He didn't notice at first because it was almost entirely hidden behind the purple Teletubby. But there's actually another Teletubby on the screen. And whenever the purple Teletubby moves slightly off his spot, he can see it. A fifth Teletubby. A grey one. It's not playing ball with the others, it's just standing there, completely still, looking right at the camera. Then the scene changed, and then the Teletubbies were just hanging out in their house. And once again, everything seemed like a pretty normal episode of Teletubbies. The yellow one was inputting something into the supercomputer at the heart of that crashed UFO thing where they all live. He's entering something into the supercomputer, and the computer's making moo sounds and spraying a sticky pink liquid all over the red Teletubby, and then like a sentient vacuum cleaner appears and sucks it all off again. It's all kind of normal stuff you get on Teletubbies, But the guy, right, he keeps watching, right? He thought maybe he'd imagined it. I mean, he hoped he'd imagined it. But he had to keep watching. For a while, anyway, just to be sure. Anyway, a few minutes later, the Teletubbies' antennas start to glow, which, if you remember the show, that means that the windmill outside is preparing to transmit a video message from our plane of reality to the Teletubby reality. And this means the Teletubbies have to run back outside and line up on one of those grassy burial mounds, right? They have to run back out to the top of one of those ancient barrows. All the Teletubbies excited to discover which one of them is going to be picked as the chosen vessel for this interdimensional message that's about to be psychically transmitted from the windmill to one of the TV screens embedded in their stomachs. All the normal stuff you get in Teletubbies, It's just your average episode of the show. So, anyway, this time, the green Teletubby was the chosen one. So, the screen in the green Teletubby stomach starts glowing, and then, as usual, that's the moment that the show cuts to VT. It's always like a 2-minute documentary about toddlers learning how to do something. This time the guy said it was toddlers learning how to cut paper with scissors. Now, by this point, the guy's thinking of turning over again and forgetting the whole thing. By now, he was pretty sure whatever it was he saw, it must have just been a mild bit of drug-induced psychosis, The program cut back from the toddlers, back to Teletubby Land, and as usual, the Teletubbies started going again, which, if you know the show, that's the cue for the documentary about scissors to start playing over for a second time. Because everything always happens twice on Tellytubbies, right? In case you weren't paying attention the first time. So it cuts back to the Tellytubbies, and as usual, they're shrieking, again. But then, the guy notices, in the background of this shot, standing completely still on the furthest barrow, right in the distance, is the same grey Tellytubby, black, empty eyes, in a bone-white plastic face, staring out of the screen. It's not hiding anymore. It's holding something. The guy can see, right? The grey Tellytubby is holding something. It's standing with its hand out, palm up, with this object sitting in its palm. The guy can't make it out to begin with, but he gets right up, right next to the screen, and then he sees what it is. All the Tellytubbies have a special object, right? The red one has a scooter, yellow one has a ball, purple one has a handbag, green one has a hat, and the grey one, turns out, has a metronome. A black metronome. The arm moving silently back and forth, almost like it's waving at you, while the grey Tellytubby just stands there, staring out of the screen, the same way a gun barrel looks at the back of your head. At that point, the program cut back to the kids playing with scissors, and when the Tellytubbies reappeared once more, the grey one was gone. That image, it must have only been on screen a couple of seconds, if that, but afterwards, the guy could see it so clearly in his mind that, in some ways, he felt as if it was still there, you know? Some after image remained as if it had somehow been burned onto his TV screen. And ever since, the guy, this is what he told me, he said he left his TV permanently tuned to the Tellytubby channel in the hope of catching sight of it once more. Maybe he was just trying to prove to himself that he wasn't crazy. I don't know. Either way, he'd never seen it again. At least, not yet. By this point, I was feeling pretty far gone, I have to admit. I hadn't smoked in a long time. Plus the stitches in my hairline and felt like they were burning. I couldn't stop scratching them. All the time he'd been talking, I felt like I could see little droplets of water running down the wall behind him, almost like there was a bath overflowing upstairs, except there was no upstairs. I don't know. I was tired. I was tripping out. I just needed to go to bed. Before I left, I asked him if he'd ever Googled it. He said no. He said, and these were his exact words, he said he didn't want it to know he was looking for it. but by that point I'd already searched for it on my phone. Anyway, I decided not to tell him that I'd looked it up, although it probably would have been peace of mind for the guy. There didn't seem to be any mention of the episode he described to me on any TV database. If I'd told him, I don't know, maybe things would have turned out differently. Anyway, I missed my chance, I guess. As I was walking down the guy's drive, I had this idea that I might secretly return at some point and leave a Tellytubby doll propped up in the guy's hedge. I could even dye it grey. I mean, perhaps if I just left it out in the rain for a few days beforehand, nature would actually help me finish the job. Then I could just come back one night, leave it in the hedge, scare the living shit out of the fucker. I don't know why I wanted to do that. Fundamentally, I think I'm just not a very nice person. Sitting in the back of the taxi, the sun was just starting to come up. I remember little sparks of sunlight flashing between the buildings like Morse code. I didn't know that there was blood running down my face. The stitches in my head had come undone completely, but I didn't realise. I had no idea what was even happening to me. Not until I looked in the rearview mirror and saw the taxi driver's eyes staring back at me. I remember saying to him, "Watch the fucking road," and then tasting the blood in my mouth as I spoke. Then suddenly, we were both lost in the sunlight, and I passed out right there with my head against the window, the indicator switch ticking in my ears. Again. Again. Again.
So, all this time, you have been listening to Imaginary Advice. Everything you heard in this episode was written and produced by me, Ross Sutherland. This episode also featured the voice of Emma Spearing. Last year, this podcast had a lot of long stories. One of those stories was around 90 minutes. Another was about 4.5 hours. I like those stories. I'm really happy with how they came out. But I wanted to start 2025 with a bit of a reset and actually go in the other direction for a while. So for the first few episodes of 2025, I'm going to be collecting together lots of little pieces and parceling them up for you like this. Anyway, Imaginary Advice is back for 2025. Hello. Thank you to everyone who donated money to the show last year. It meant so much to me, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. My campaign, though, is ongoing. I'm trying to get the support of this podcast up to the level of a minimum wage job. So if you're a regular listener and you're yet to make a donation to the show, please consider it. You can either make a one-off donation via buymeacoffee.com/imaginary advice, or alternatively, you can set up a small monthly donation via my Patreon page. That's patreon.com/Ross G. Sutherland. $5 a month gets you access to my bonus monthly podcast series, where I'm currently developing the screenplay for a horror movie. Currently, I'm doing new idea pitches every month and having my patrons vote for their favourites. And through this process, I'm slowly narrowing the list towards the final story idea that will get developed at script level. Some people just sign up to my Patreon for a couple of months, drain all the bonus content, and then unsubscribe again, which is a completely logical way of doing things, particularly if you don't have the liquidity to support a show long term, but you also want to get a little bit of extra value for your donation. And that's fine with me. I would rather people did that than not support the show at all. You know, I'm looking to reach my target any way I can, which, again, and I hate saying this because it is so exposing as a creator to talk about this kind of thing, but my goal is to turn my work on this podcast, which I do full-time, into something equivalent of a minimum wage job. Thank you so much to everyone who has given me support in the past or is supporting the show right now. May your gleaming suits of armor never tarnish, you goddamn angels of heaven. Finally, remember, all social media is broken. The fix is in. You can no longer use social media to keep track of the artists and writers you enjoy. The only way to do that now, going forward, is for all of us to return to the primitive times before social media. We must use our email client to subscribe to newsletters and mail-outs. We have to curate our relationships directly and not use aggregated, algorithmically cursed middlemen. Annoying as that is, no one is more annoyed than me. But anyway, that's why I have now set up a mailing list for Imaginary Advice. It goes out once a month on release day, so if you don't want to miss an episode of this show, this is the best way to stay in the loop. You can subscribe by going to imaginaryadvice.com and clicking on the tab for mailing list. Don't forget to check your spam folder for the confirmation email. And that's all. Thank you so much for listening. Imaginary Advice will return next month. My name is Ross Sutherland. Goodbye.